In our last lesson, you learned how to say du spielst, which means you play in the present tense in German. Now you can simply memorize this if you'd like. However, I'd like to show you the inner workings of these verbs in the present tense so that you can use any regular verb in the present tense in the do form. So I'd like to empower you to be able to use regular verbs. So let me show you how. It's pretty simple, and once you know how to do it, you've got the power. You can use any regular verb with the do form in the present tense, and you can say a lot of things. So let's start with the infinitive spielen. So what do I do to this to get the form that agrees with do? It's very simple. You drop the en or the n. In this case, it's just the en because it's spielen. And then all you do is add st. Why st with do? Well, that's just the rule. It's something you have to accept. That's the way it is. That's how the language is written. That's the grammar. St for do. Okay, so let's do it. We have spielen, drop the en, and you're left with what is called the root. After you drop the en or the n, you're left with the root of the verb. So this is the root of the verb spielen, spiel. So all you have to do at this point is add the st to the root, and you have du spielst, du spielst. Okay, so that's how it's done. Now remember that in the present tense, when a verb is conjugated, it can mean one of three things. So du spielst can mean you play, you do play, you are playing. So here's the exciting part of this lesson. Here's where you have the power. If you can do that with one regular verb, then you can do that with any regular verb. So let's look at some more regular verbs. To go, gehen. To need, brauchen. To bring, bringen. To find, finden. To ask, FRAGEN. To buy, KAUFEN. To love, lieben. So let's start with gehen. Let's conjugate it. Remember, the rule is drop the en from the infinitive, and we have our root. All you have to do now is add the st to the root. Du gehst. Du gehst. Remember, du gehst means you go, you do go, or you are going. You can also ask the question by reversing the word order. So gehst du, if you ask someone gehst du, this means do you go or are you going? Gehst du. Brauchen, to need. Du brauchst. So I dropped the en and I added the st. Du brauchst. You need, you do need, you are needing. How about the question? Do you need or are you needing? Switch the word order. Brauchst du. Brauchst du. Do you need, are you needing? Bringen, to bring. Drop the en, add the st. Du bringst, du bringst. You bring, you do bring, you are bringing. How about the question? Do you bring or are you bringing? Bringst du, bringst du. Finden. Drop the en, and this one's a little irregular, slightly irregular. If the root ends in a d, we have to actually add an e. So we can't say du findst. So you add the e, and it's just a little rule. Add e before st if the stem ends in d. So when I take off the en, notice that the stem ends in d, so I have to add an e. So the form is du findest, du findest. You find, you do find, you are finding. How about the question? Findest du, findest du, findest du. Do you find or are you finding? Fragen, to ask. Drop the en. Du fragst. Add the st. Du fragst. You ask, you do ask, you are asking. Du fragst. The question? Are you asking or do you ask? Fragst du. Fragst du. Fragst du. Kaufen, to buy. Drop the en and add the st. Du kaufst. You buy, you do buy, you are buying. The question, do you buy or are you buying? Reverse the word order. Kaufst du. Kaufst du. Lieben, to love. Drop the en and add the st. Du liebst. Du liebst. You love, you do love, you are loving. How about the question? Do you love or are you loving? Liebst du, liebst du, liebst du. Okay, so let's review quickly. You go, you do go, you are going. It's the verb gehen. Du gehst. The question, gehst du? Do you go or are you going? The verb brauchen. Du brauchst. You need, you do need, you are needing. The question, brauchst du? Du bringst, which means that. Bringst du? Du findest, findest du? Du fragst and fragst du. Well, I hope you're excited about what you can do now. Your abilities are growing by leaps and bounds. If you know how to conjugate regular verbs in the present tense, your abilities should expand quickly. Okay, so to go on to the next lesson, click on the video that appears here on your screen. See you soon. Bis bald.